good morning to you all. Final rounds on the last of the grinding. So Paul is just removing all the little vents, all the little screws and things, and then just those finer places to grind around is what's going down today. We've been at it 2 days. 2 days of dusty blue grinding, and we're finally on the home stretch. Much like watching paint dry, the preparation process has proved to be just as excruciating. So hop on board, subscribe to the channel, and come along as we upgrade our Narrowboat home. Not long after the grinding was over, we jumped into the next stage. And as per usual, we were losing the daylight hours. This is a coat of Vactan, the all-important rust converter.
How do you feel about not painting? Sun's going down. I'd say we're about a quarter of the way done.
More to go, a little bit of a long night ahead, but an easier stretch than the grinding. Anything is better than that. We will paint Vactan away until the cows come home rather than pick up a power tool. That behind me there is Paul just wiping off all the work he did last night. The choice to paint and thinking that it would cure was a big old fail and a mistake on our part. So this morning we woke up to excessive dew. We looked at the temperatures and just hoped for the best. And I think in this kind of stage, when you're doing this kind of job, you are just winging it, and we do have rain looming at the end of the week, so we kind of just took the risk, hoped it would pay it off, and it didn't. So this morning we're both up, crack of dawn, towels wiping down the boat. There's a few places where there's actual black bubbles where the water's dried underneath, so Paul's got an abrasive sponge and he's just taken that off, and then we're going to have to redo the Vactan. Back at the point we were at the end of last night. Paul is just doing the last day of the Vactan. It is curing very, very quickly because the roof is now super hot. I think this is going to be the hottest day that we're having this week, almost 30 degrees. So joyful weather-wise, but definitely putting a spanner in the works of planning painting a roof because it's going to dry faster than we can lay it down. Day 5, let's go. A beauty of a quiet, peaceful morning here at the marina. We are starting fairly early because these days run hot, so first port of call is just to wipe down the roof. There's obviously dew that's settled over the night, or dew that's formed, you know what I mean. Wipe that down, get it all dry, and the first coat of primer is going on today. So some actual paint, some progress, and hopefully not a two-step scenario where we have to go back on ourselves because we made another mistake. So let's get to drying. By the way, luckily the Vactan that we put on yesterday was a success. So putting it on in the morning, it was kind of getting too hot by the time we ended up getting to the end bits, and it was drying really quickly. But we got it on and it seems to have gone off great. It's all smooth and perfect and cured, or whatever you say, and we are chuffed. The roof is not quite drying yet. The sun is not high enough in the sky. It's quite nerve-wracking because we've got to catch that window where it's not too hot that the paint is drying, but that it's cool enough, it's dry, the dew is dry, and we can actually paint, but that it's not going to dry as we go along. In the meantime, to be on the safe side, we are going to give the Vactan a light sanding. Just use this time, and if there are any air bubbles or anything like that, get those out the way. The Vactan is a precautionary step because the Craftmaster Grey Anti-Corrosive Primer is anti-corrosive. So hopefully we are doubly safe by doing both.
Spoiler alert. It's amazing what you see in the background of YouTube videos.
We may have some details coming to you about a faulty slash hopefully not broken alternator. More on that later. One thing at a time. And that one thing now is our first coat of primer going down.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.
One coat of primer.
Driving through days and
Done
nights.
those. We're just there and doing the edges. It's too much to, while the paint is drying, to focus on getting a nice edge. So we just left the edges, came back to do them. But looking good. I'm just gonna take this off. We're gonna tie another line from the front of the boat so we can get under that area there. Really starting to feel like progress is taking place now, and feeling good.
Lights. And I really wanna know,
Might be a job for the grass, moving this operation.
if will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.
Tops are done. This light isn't very good, but basically we have cut the large top in half and then we've just put tape over and punched a little hole, working with what we've got. Probably not ideal, but we are just MacGyvering this project. We've got some washing line, we've got another green option for rope. So now we experiment. We've done a test on the top and we're just busy taking it down. We half put it up, and it seems like it's going to work. The main reason for putting it up is not that we're worried about the paint. Once it's dried it should be fine. It's that we've got all our mushroom covers off and all the screw holes in the roof. So if the rain is mild, well then fine, or if it showers for 20 minutes, that's one thing. But if it really comes down, the whole inside of our boat will be flooded. So we don't want that happening. So the top is to prevent that. Sunsets on another day of painting. We changed up techniques this time. With the first coat of primer, Paul was rolling and then I was going over with the paintbrush. We went down one side, then down the other, then realized that makes a bit of a line in the middle. So we changed tactics this time around, and he stood one side, I stood the other side, and we just actually rolled it and then did the edges with a brush, and at the same time, so the paint was wet and we kind of like merged together and not get a defining line. I guess the primer is a good time to practice when you can always sand back any rough bits. Trial and error, just trying things as we go. Isn't that right, Mr. Monroe?
We've made a bit of a makeshift tent because I reckon it's going to rain tonight. So wish us luck on that front.
Yeah, I think we're going to wait for this to dry.
Touch dry.
It's pretty dry already. You can just see here, this front bit, still a bit shiny, but generally it's already touch dry.
Just as the sun goes down.
The forecast says rain to come at about 4 in the morning.
So we'll wake up at 1 and put the tent up.
No, we will just stay up until the paint is dry and put the tent up, and then sleep soundly in bed, unless wind picks up or something. But it says the wind is going to be calm as well. Full report in the morning. Good morning, welcome to day whatever number it is of this paint job. I can't remember. This is our prevent. It was primer day yesterday.
Oh,
It's like
Undercoat.
Undercoat day. This was the top that we used to prevent from rain, which was totally unnecessary.
It worked so well there wasn't any rain.
Literally stopped the rain from even coming out of the clouds. So yeah, I guess we are overcautious, but it was a fun little project to make anyway. We actually put these little holes, we taped the cut edges, the other edges have like actual like little eyelets. Cut those holes to tie bottles, but we didn't really need it. We've got sort of 3 magnets on either side and then just some water bottles. I think someone actually commented on the last video and gave us that idea, which was pretty handy, so thank you. Here you go. And Paul can have a fresh drink of sparkling water afterwards. So multi-use top weights. So we're just about to yank this one off, and we did 2 coats of primer yesterday, and today is Undercoat day.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
Finishing touches on the first coat of Undercoat. We've just got a bit of the sides to do. The whole time while we're painting, the sun was sort of coming and going, and there are a few dark clouds looming. They say around 3 o'clock there's about 30 to 40% chance of rain, although that's also what they said last night, and it never came. So luckily right now there's pretty harsh sun, which means it's going to dry, and so if we have to put the cover up again to cover our vents and all the screw holes, we should be okay. With never a moment to spare, Paul reinstalled our alternator, and then dum-dum-dum, black clouds incoming, so it looks like there will be some rain, and that means top time. is all up. The rain came and then it went. We've got, this is one of our window covers. I'll stand here so you can see better. One of the window covers that in a previous episode when we had leaks we used to put over the windows. So that just holds on with magnets, which is cool. Doing the job of our pram cover. Yes, the amount of droplets on there, if you can see, is hardly worth freaking out about, but still must be done because we have holes in the roof. Water bottle weight doing its job.
Hello folks. Our alternator on the starter battery was broken. I don't know if you remember in previous episodes we had the domestic batteries alternator that gave up the ghost, and we got a new one. So the starter alternator which we got when we bought the boat, that went, so the regulator on it went. Then the nice chap that lives on the jetty here, Mark, he knew someone, so he took it in and got the regulator replaced, and now it works like a gem. Thanks Mark for all the help.
Totally, aren't you chuffed?
I was stressing out about it, and he came and he was like, oh no guy. So big thank you Mark. Thumbs up.
There is nothing worse than being stuck in the middle of a huge job like this, having a long 2 days of grinding, and in the middle of that realize that something else is going wrong with your boat. Not ideal. And then when neighbors sort of come to the rescue, it is just such a relief and just makes you believe in all the wonderful good that there is in this world, and that it's all here for us, and things really do, while they sometimes fall apart, they're actually coming together. So hallelujah for that. As I make my way outside, here you see our entrance is slightly smaller than usual. Oi. And as the last of the sun goes down right over there, Annabelle is neatly tucked away. Few raindrops falling right now as I speak. Here she is, tucked in to sleep for the night. We've actually ended up putting all the covers where we can in the windows. We've got the bottles going on because the wind is set to pick up to about 16 knots or whatever you say, but anyway, it's going to be much more vicious than it was today, and it was flapping about a bit this afternoon. So she's all tucked up. It looks like we're camping underneath here inside our boat, but we think it's the best solution to cover up all our holes and prevent the inside of the boat from getting wet. She's got 3 coats so far, plus the Vactan coat, so we've painted 4 times on this roof. I'd say we're about a third of the way. There's a few more coats to go. Thanks for sticking with us for this first week of painting. Sorry if it was a bit boring, like watching the old paint dry. And thanks to our patrons and PayPal supporters, and thanks to all of you for just coming back each week. You guys are just the best. See you in the next one.